The following is a special presentation of ABC Sports.
We are moments away from a game that will showcase the finest the sport of football has to offer. The New York Giants and the San Francisco 49ers, each with 10 wins and a loss, have the two best records in the NFL. In the primetime spotlight tonight are many of the finest players in the game. Athletes who know that these are the games by which they are measured. Men like San Francisco's Roger Craig. He's played on 3 Super Bowl winners. And tonight, even though he's been troubled this year with a knee injury, he will be reaching for greatness. Men like Lawrence Taylor of the Giants, the 9-time Pro Bowl linebacker. And Jerry Rice, the finest receiver in the game today. Giants quarterback Phil Simms has led New York to a Super Bowl title. Yet he has seen the 49ers win the past 2 world championships.
We want to be the underdog, and we want to upset them because they are the defending champions. And, of course, they're 10-1, and everybody expects them to repeat. So we want to try to show everybody in the league, America, or whatever, that the 49ers are going to have a hard time winning it again.
Both teams are assured of making the playoffs already, but these elite professional athletes will play tonight with a passion and pride that is the purest form of competition. Who's the better team tonight, you or me, baby? Joe Montana is a 3-time Super Bowl most valuable player. He's accomplished most every achievement in pro football. But tonight, he takes the field knowing that this game is special.
As a player, you live for these type of games. They don't come along very often, and so they're more exciting to be in.
So tonight, one team will win, one team will lose. The loser will have dropped 2 in a row. The winner will be the best team in football tomorrow morning and the favorite to win Super Bowl 25. The moment...
Well, it's Monday night. A new week has begun. I turn on the tube for some pigskin fun. I see a Super Bowl season on ABC. The big game each week is their specialty. I gotta get ready, make everything right. 'Cause Monday night football's coming on tonight. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
I'm ready. We're ready.
Cut the talk. I'm ready.
Are you ready for some football? And Monday night party. Hey, this is Rockin' Randall Hank. Ready to get the thing started. We got the teams on the field and we turned up the lights. And all my rowdy friends are back for Monday night. Yes, everybody is a fan. This is the biggest party, man. Yeah, we got the week. It's the time that is right.
The New York Giants versus the San Francisco 49ers. Brought to you by Ford and your Ford dealer. Have you driven a Ford lately? By the Budweiser family of beers, who also bring you Bud Bowl 3 coming January 27th. By Norelco Lift and Cut Shavers for a new level of closeness and comfort. And by HBO, simply the best.
Candlestick Park in San Francisco, where tonight East meets West. The New York Giants and the defending Super Bowl champion San Francisco 49ers. A tremendous air of anticipation for tonight's game, and the build-up is over, and we are ready to go. Hello again, everyone. I'm Frank Gifford, along with Al Michaels and Dan Deerdorf. Happy you're with us, and quite frankly, we have been waiting for this game for a long time. We are ready to go. The 2 teams with the best records in the NFL, they're 10-1. The Giants clinched at least a wild card playoff last week. They win tonight, and they have won the NFC East. The 49ers won the NFC West yesterday when New Orleans lost to the Dallas Cowboys. You heard the players talk a moment ago how important this game is to them personally. Well, perhaps even more important is the implications for the playoffs. These 2 teams have met 4 times in the playoffs over recent years. They are 2-2. The Giants have defeated the 49ers twice in the Meadowlands without the 49ers even scoring, and of course the Giants have lost twice here. So they are looking ahead to the playoffs, and when you try to characterize these teams, what do you think of? Well, the 49ers are classy, they're high-scoring superstars, Montana and Rice. Well, the Giants have been characterized, Al Michaels, many times, and perhaps it's true. They're a blue-collar team. We've heard it many times, but they do like to slug it out with you. They're big, they're strong. No real superstars other than perhaps Lawrence Taylor.
Frank, I'm curious if they'll get back to being blue-collar offensively tonight, because think about last week. Think about, first of all, the first 10 weeks of the season when the Giants simply ran the ball. They pounded it. They basically gave it to Otis Anderson 20 times a game. Their running game controlled the tempo. they were 10-0. Last week, by design, they went the other way. They called 42 pass plays, 14 running plays. The result was a loss. What do they do tonight? Do they run the ball against the 49ers, who are #1 in the league against the rush, or do they throw the ball against the suddenly suspect San Francisco secondary? I suspect they'll go back to the basics. Another interesting note about tonight's game. Even though some of the luster was taken off when each team lost last week, I think that's been offset by the increased importance. As Frank said, the winner of this game, a clear shot to home field advantage in the playoffs. The team that loses tonight limps off with a 2-game losing streak, some self-doubt, the media buzzing around all next week saying, what's wrong with you guys, and facing the possibility of a first-round playoff game in early January while the other team rests. So, Dan, tonight we take a look at the Giants trying to rebound against their loss to Philadelphia, the Niners against their loss to the Rams. How does San Francisco look to you?
Well, San Francisco, Al, is going to be quick to say the things that hurt us last week against the Rams, don't look for them tonight. Don't look for Montana to throw a lot of interceptions. Don't look for things like Rathman to fumble the football. Sure, this is a star-studded offensive team, and the names are household. Craig and Rice and Taylor and Montana. But defensively, I think, is where San Francisco is playing their best football. If they're to win tonight, it's names like Pierce Holt, Kevin Fagan, Bill Romanowski. The 49ers to win tonight, they have to win it defensively.
And here we go. Barr kicks off. 49ers receive. Dexter Carter, the Florida State rookie, from the goal line, brings it back out to the 22. And here are the 49ers. Those who follow this club every week say Montana is having his finest season. Paradoxically, he has already thrown more interceptions than in any full season of his career, 14. The supporting cast, Craig and Rathman, the running backs, Taylor and Rice, the wide receivers. Brent Jones is having a terrific year. Parrish and McIntyre, Sapolu, Barton, and Wallace, the interior linemen. First down from the 21. That's Brent Jones in motion. Roger Craig on a sweep, and nothing is there as Mark Collins, the cornerback, comes up to make the tackle, and he'll be a busy man tonight. He's going to see a lot of Jerry Rice. Here are the Giants now defensively. Dorsey, Howard, and Washington will also see a lot of Leonard Marshall. Cooks, Diassi, Pepper Johnson, and Taylor, the linebackers. Carl Banks has been activated. Collins and Walls are the corners. Jackson and Guyton are the safeties.
Already you're seeing more movement by Lawrence Taylor. Here he is on the bottom of the screen.
2nd and 8 as Montana on that short, tight roll hits Brent Jones at the 29-yard line, and that will set up a 3rd and 2. Greg Jackson with the stop.
And the Giants open with a nickel defense, which will challenge the 49ers' ability to run the football, and that is where they have been weak over the course of the year. Johnny Cook's the linebacker out of the lineup. They go with a 5th defensive back, Perry Williams, number 23, and Greg Jackson, number 47. The strong safety was a good blitz man, playing up tight like a linebacker.
You saw Bill Belichick, 3rd and a short 2 from the 29-yard line. Craig in motion. Montana, that 5-step drop, and then it's knocked away by Perry Williams. And so the Giants hold, and the 49ers forced the punt.
Williams was the man who was inserted defensively by Bill Belichick, the defensive coordinator for the Giants, replacing the linebacker Johnny Cooks. He makes a big play. The receiver was open. That's Taylor, who was questionable a little bit because of a sore knee. The ball perhaps could have been led a little more, and that would have been a first down completion.
Dave Meggett, 2nd in the league in punt returns to Clarence Verdun of Indianapolis, averaging 12.5 a run back. And he'll be accepting the kick from the man who has the worst gross average and net average in the league. Barry Hilton not having a good season. Low snap. He scoops it up and gets it away. Meggett at the 32-yard line and gets tackled immediately. Moving downfield, Greg Cox, the former Giant, to tackle him immediately.
Dave Meggett makes a move to the right. Obviously, he should have made a move to the left. Misreading the blocking of the guys up front, but still a very successful opening series defensively for New York.
Here are the Giants now. Phil Simms with the highest pass rating in the league. Anderson and Carthen start. at the running back spot. You see Megan on third down. We'll also see a lot of Rodney Hampton. And there are the guys up front. Carson in motion from the 30. A little toss to Otis Anderson, and he goes nowhere. Michael Carter, the nose tackle, makes the stop along with Keith DeLong, who's really coming on at an inside linebacker spot. The Niners, basic 3-4, Holt, Carter, and Fagan up front. We'll see a lot of Jim Byrd in the middle. Haley is there, Lawrence Taylor imitator with Millen, DeLong, and Romanowski. And the secondary, Pollard and Griffin have been nicked. Waymer is the longtime former Saint, and of course Ronnie Lott on his way to Canton someday. Double tight end set for the Giants, who sent Cross in motion on 2nd and 12. And Sims throws incomplete. Ingram looks for the flag, and there is none. The coverage by Darryl Pollard. Third and long.
Perfectly timed out by Darryl Pollard, who also has been a little nicked for these 49ers. They were concerned about him during the course of the week. He makes a great play on Ingram. Ingram driving, making it look like the fly, gets first down yardage. Well, he was there. Yeah, he timed it perfectly. He was just a little early.
Yeah, he timed it perfectly all right.
And he dodges the flag, and it's a good play by Pollard.
The 49ers get away with one early.
Out of the gun on 3rd and 12. The Giants have to get to the 41 to keep the drive going, and that's just where Manuel makes the catch. He caught it inbounds and picked up exactly what he needed. Pollard covering.
Well, Manuel is the best possession receiver the Giants have. He makes the good move. There was a blitz on. That meant man-for-man coverage for Manuel. He takes it down for first down yardage, and Pollard, knowing he was all alone, had to give enough ground that Manuel could break it to the sideline. The marker's there, and a perfectly executed pass. And more importantly, the Giants picked up the 49er blitz and gave Sims time to get rid of it.
First down of the game, no score, 2.5 minutes into it. 1st and 10 from the 41. Hampton is in the game, and that's the rookie out of Georgia who breaks the initial tackle. He got away from Matt Millen momentarily, and then Fagan is in on the stop. We've seen this act before in a couple of different uniforms. Matt Millen, the former Raiders.
Only plays this game one way. One of the most excitable players in the league, and his forte, playing the run and jawing afterwards. Here he goes with Eric Moore. But watch the pat on the head. Yeah, look at that. Yeah, that is the way you ought to play the game, Matt. Right on.
2nd and 10 from the 42-yard line. Hampton and Carson are the running backs, and the handoff is to Hampton, who threads his way for a first down to the 49er 47. Dave Waymer makes the tackle.
Rodney Hampton came into tonight's game averaging a little over 3.8 yards per carry, but over the last 4 games when he recovered from a sprained ankle, he's averaging just about 5 yards per carry. Very tricky the way he moves. He has 4.6 speed, but he is very shifty, very elusive. Look at the little stutter step, the little skip. And we saw him early, the #1 draft pick against Buffalo. The first time he carried the football, he went 90 yards for a touchdown in a preseason game.
Jim Burt, the former Giant, is in as the 49ers nose tackle, and it's Hampton finding room again. And close to a first down, he's tackled by Ronnie Lott. Rodney Hampton, who opted to come out of college after his junior season at the University of Georgia.
Boy, what an effort by Maurice Carthon there. Not only makes the lead block for Hampton, and then he comes downfield and cleans the guy off the pile. There's one of the real leaders of the Giants, Maurice Carthon. Rodney Hampton inside. You see Holt missing the tackle. And watch Carthon come right in there late and pick somebody off.
On 2nd and short, it's Anderson picking up the first down over the left side as O.J. takes it to the 34-yard line. Anderson, who came up as a rookie with Dan Deerdorf's Cardinals in 1979, nearing the 10,000-yard mark. 53 away right now.
He got almost 200 of it that very first day against the Dallas Cowboys. 195 against the Cowboys that day. One of the great talents that's ever carried the football in the National Football League. Otis Anderson, it just gets better as he gets older. It doesn't happen very often, especially to a running back.
How important he's been over the past couple of years to these Giants.
Picked them up in '86 in a trade. Here's Hampton, and he gets stopped by Jim Byrd, who sees a lot of action because Michael Carter's foot bothers him from time to time. And Byrd gets dinged on that play, and out he comes.
Whoa. Out, I think he already is. He thinks he's at the Meadowlands again. Oh, he caught one.
Jim Burt, you see the grass and everything stuck in his face mask. He is not home. Anyone that would like to be a nose tackle, applications are being accepted at any team in the National Football League. And if you go looking for that job, you're out on your feet.
I'd like to see the job specs on that.
2nd and 8 from the 33-yard line. Here's Hampton cutting it back the other way. Taking it to the 29-yard line. Matt Millen is in on the stop, and that will set up a 3rd and about 5 with 8:55 to go. No score. First quarter in San Francisco.
Giants will bring in 3 wide receivers, and more importantly, they bring in their leading receiver, Dave Meggett. He'll work out of the backfield. He'll work out of a slot. He's number 30. He's 5'7", 180-pounder, but very effective once he catches the football.
3rd and 5 from the 29. That's Ingram in motion. Sims from the gun. He gives it to Meggett, and Meggett can't get outside. Charles Haley stops him at the 34-yard line.
Well, Haley got so far upfield that the kick out was really the block. Haley should have been kicked to the outside and Meggett take it back to the inside. A real bad read that time, Frank, by Dave Meggett, taking it to the outside, and it knocks them out of field goal range.
Exactly. He should have brought it back inside, but Charles Haley, one of the great players in this league. Underrated, but he's not underrated by the players that go up against him. Just keep your eye on 94 tonight and see how much he's involved. He's the leader for the 49ers in sacks, and he just made a great play against the run.
Sean Landeta is going to take the clock down. The Giants would like to take the 5-yard penalty here to give Landeta more room with which to work. What happens is you'll have a delay of game, but the 49ers will probably decline it.
Of course, we'll be watching Renee Thompson of the Giants. He's had a phenomenal year covering on kicks.
You know, another thing I think that's involved here is that I think the Giants are willing to run as much time off the clock at any time that the opportunity presents itself. They want to keep the football as long as they can and keep number 16, number 80, and number 33 in the red over on the sideline.
Well, the Niners here, interestingly, did what the Giants wanted them to do. They accepted the penalty to give Landeta more room with which to work. He angles it. It's fielded at the 10, and fair caught by Don Griffin. So the 49ers begin their second drive deep in their own territory. No score, 7:16 to play, first quarter.
Bud Bowl Update has learned that Bud Bowl 3 will feature something brand new this year, the helmet cam. Budweiser's Billy Bud and Bobby Bud will be wearing the helmet cams to give you a beer's eye view of all the action. Plans for future Bud Bowls include goalpost cam, football cam, X-ray cam, overhead cam, and cam. Helmet cam. For Bud Bowl Update, I'm Chris Berman.
Candlestick Park sold out, more than 64,000 looking on as we look down from the Goodyear blimp. No score midway through the first quarter. A week from tonight, we'll be at the Silverdome in Pontiac. The Lions, who took Chicago into overtime yesterday, hosting Bo and the boys as the Raiders come to town on top with Kansas City in the AFC West.
Halftime, we'll be announcing the Silver Anniversary Super Bowl team. That's going to be very interesting. That's halftime of next week's Raiders-Detroit Lions game.
I guess I did make that one, huh?
We don't know yet. From the 11, here's Roger Craig looking for room to the outside, and he can't turn it as Gary Reasons and Myron Guyton come up to stop him for a loss of 2. 49ers have not had a running game all season long, but still they have won without it. In fact, this year they became the first team in the history of the league to win 5 straight games without rushing for 100 yards or more in any of them.
They've also had to come from behind on 6 different occasions to win. So at times that they have been winning in a desperate fashion. The clock ran out last week.
2nd and 11. And the pass to Jamie Williams, who was in motion. He takes it out to the 18 where Myron Guyton makes the tackle. You know, one thing, Dan, we ought to focus in on early is Lawrence Taylor publicly talking about his role last week in the defense as we look at the play again and how they've been moving him around.
Well, he was upset that through the course of the season so far that he's been a stationary target over there on the right side of the defense, the offensive left side. And interesting, he complained about it publicly. He went to the coaching staff, and now so far this game, he's been moving around a great deal. Here he is now all the way at the bottom of the formation. Lawrence Taylor moving around a great deal here early.
3rd and 3, 6 minutes to go in a scoreless first quarter. Montana protected well. Open is John Taylor. He gets chased out of bounds by Perry Williams after he picks up the 49ers' initial first down of the game at the 30.
And this is the rhythm that you don't like to see this man get into. A quick drop, usually 3 steps, maybe 4 steps, and just a quick delivery. We've seen it now to Jamie Williams. Now he comes to John Taylor. They throw it underneath. And they are all good runners after they catch the football. And they just play to break that tackle and get the big gainer. You hit them often enough, they're going to do it.
49ers keeping a cautious eye on Taylor, who's been bothered with a knee problem and didn't play that much last week against the Rams. Through the middle, and nothing opening in the middle of the line. Roger Craig stopped after a pickup of 1. 49ers averaging coming into the game a very measly 3.3 yards per rushing attempt. Down near the bottom of the league average is an even 4.
And if you're going to run the football, you're going to run it against this kind of a defense. Banks, of course, activated tonight with the dislocated wrist, but the Giants stay in the nickel with the 5 defensive backs, and the 49ers should be able to run if they're going to run it all.
Banks, by the way, has not been in the game yet, and it goes right through the hands of Roger Craig. It was right there. Williams was right there as well, and it will be 3rd down and 9.
When the short passing game is your running game, those are the types of mistakes that the 49ers cannot afford to have in a game like this. It's some of the problems they had last week. That, in essence, was a handoff from Joe Montana to Roger Craig, and it was a handoff that Craig fumbled. The short passing game is the running game for the 49ers. Bill Belichick sends in his call.
3rd and 9. It's Mike Wilson in motion. Montana under some pressure. Rolling and looking, and nobody is there, and just throws it away. Everybody was covered. Leonard Marshall was the man chasing Montana, and so for the second time in the scoreless opening quarter, San Francisco will punt.
I have seen that exact play during the course of this season called intentional grounding. I mean, there was no 49er anywhere near where Joe Montana threw the football. And again, the rule states if you throw the football away to evade a sack, if your intent is to evade a sack, that's intentional grounding. There wasn't anyone near that.
I wonder if it's maybe difficult to call that on a legend.
4th down. This time the snap from Wesley Walls is much better than the first one, and it's a good kick by Helton. Megan Fields at the 21. And a man who is averaging 12.5 yards per run back brings it back 12 yards to the 33-yard line. The Giants and 49ers scoreless. 4:28 to go, first quarter. That's the Transamerica Tower, otherwise known as the Pyramid, gracing the San Francisco skyline for the last 20 years on a sparkling night in the Bay Area. Candlestick Park, no score, 4:28 to go, first quarter. First down, Giants from the 32. O.J. Anderson picks up a hard yard. Dave Waymer comes up to make the tackle. George Seifert talking about Waymer yesterday, and much like O.J. Anderson, a veteran who comes late in his career to a team and provides a special kind of spark.
Interesting that the 49ers were looking for an older defensive back, and the 2 guys they really took a long, hard look at were Dave Waymer and Everson Walls. Everson Walls, who found a home with the Giants and playing extremely well with 5 interceptions, but they wanted Waymer because of his versatility and his ability to play safety.
And here he is starting with Chet Brooks hurt. 2nd and 9, and it's Cross making the catch, hit by Lott among others, and close to a first down. Lott and DeLong converging on the hit. And he appears to be a little short of the first down. But Dale Hamer will measure.
Cross, of course, not your prime receiver for the Giants, but he was getting coverage by a linebacker, number 59, Keith DeLong. So Sims reads that rather quickly and gets the completion very close to the first down. Looks like he's a little bit short.
Yep. Only the 5th pass that Cross has caught this season. Giants, of course, love to throw to. As you can see, it is, well, closer than we thought. And in fact, it is a first down. First down for the Giants.
Cross reading that rather well.
Yep. Giants throw to their tight ends a lot and their running backs. In fact, the Giant wide receivers as a group, all of them together, have caught only 50 passes this season. On the other side of the coin, Jerry Rice alone has caught 73 for San Francisco.
The Giants running backs and tight ends have caught about 119.
First down, 42-yard line. Here's Anderson, and he is tackled back at the 39-yard line. Matt Millen with the penetration.
Matt Millen's neck support was new in about 1963. A little ragged around the edges, and so is Matt, but this guy can still play. Brought his show across the bay here to the 49ers and fills a role much like Hacksaw Reynolds filled for the 49ers under then coach Bill Walsh, and this man is defensive coordinator. He likes that stout linebacker to run a defense in the running situation.
On 2nd and 12, they have Megan in the game. He's at the top of your screen, split to the right. 2:30 to go in a scoreless first quarter. Sims, a short drop, nearly gets sacked and then throws incomplete. Keith DeLong came in, nearly sacked him, and it was all Sims could do to get rid of the ball.
Well, when you're a back and you have to block a blitzing linebacker, the first thing you are taught is stay high.
And don't step up. Don't wait for him.
And don't try to cut him. Rodney Hampton there, number 27. Look how low he goes on DeLong. DeLong is able to hurdle him. And there is Phil Sims attempting to complete a pass to Doug Riesenberg.
He was the only one open.
So twice now we have seen these veteran quarterbacks get away with dumping the football.
Crowd still booing because they wanted a penalty. 3rd and 12. 49ers rush 5, and then it's dropped by Ingram, who wouldn't have gone much further anyway. Johnny Jackson was there covering, and Landeta will be forced to kick for the 2nd time. Kind of like the beginning of a great heavyweight fight in a way. No score, each team punting twice.
Nobody bleeding yet, and yet you kind of get the feeling that there's a big play or a mistake looming out there somewhere.
Landeta's kick taken at the 20. This is Taylor, chased by Reason.
Look out!
And John Taylor has Landeta to beat and can't beat him. Landeta makes the tackle at the 47.
That's a great play by Landeta. He didn't get himself to the sidelines where Taylor could have brought it back. Taylor thought about bringing back to the medaling rim, head on to Sean Landeta. Well, take a look at it one more time. This sets up beautifully. The wall is there, and watch Landeta come into the shot. He does not let him cut back.
Frank, John Taylor won't live that one down all week. You don't get tackled by the punter.
Yours, all right.
AT&T, the right choice. In 1986, Roger Craig and Jerry Rice each caught 12 passes, the Monday night record. But what quarterback holds the record for most completions on a Monday night? Joe Montana of the 49ers, Roger Staubach of the Cowboys, or Ken Anderson of the Bengals? Which would you choose? In 1982, Ken Anderson of the Bengals completed an amazing 40 out of 56 passes. If you said Anderson, you made the right choice.
Coming up Saturday, college basketball on ABC. Good doubleheader coming your way. Michigan takes on Duke at 2 o'clock Eastern Time. Arizona takes on LSU at 4 Eastern Time. Saturday here on ABC. 49ers at the 47-yard line, 1st and 10. And Roger Craig picks up about 2 to the 49. 2 minutes to go, first quarter, no score.
Go back a moment ago to one of Landeta's great plays. It was Landeta himself who set this up. He kicked that ball very poorly, kicked it low, and it gave Taylor the opportunity to get behind the picket line, but Landeta made up for it to some degree in that he refused to let Taylor make the cut back to the inside. Had he been able to do so, he might have gone all the way. And Sean knows that he did not kick that well.
2nd and 8 from the 49er 49. Montana rolling to buy time and now decides to run, and out of bounds he goes at the 45-yard line, about 3 yards shy of the first down. He was chased by Lawrence Taylor.
He'll do that to you. We talked about the 49ers running game being weak this year. It's Montana who has the longest run from scrimmage, if you can believe that.
It's the only run from scrimmage this year more than 20 yards by a 49er. They're the only team in the league that does not have a 20-yard run from a running back. 3rd and 2. It's a long 2. Craig in motion. And Montana throws too high, intended for Taylor. Covered on the play by Myron Guyton. And in comes Helton for the 3rd time in the quarter. So this will be the 5th punt of the game with 57 seconds to play in the first quarter.
And that was another blown opportunity by the 49ers, because it was a blown coverage by the New York Giants, releasing John Taylor down the sideline. He is wide open, and Joe doesn't get him the ball. I mean, John Taylor does not have a giant defender about 3 yards away. You see Guyton gets over there, but way late. A poor pass by Joe.
Dave Meggett stands back at his own 10-yard line. Barry Helton to punt. Wesley Walls to snap it. Fair catch is called for, and Meggett makes it at the 10-yard line. And the Giants begin their drive from the 10. 50 seconds to play. First quarter at Candlestick.
The Michigan Wolverines take on the Blue Devils at Duke. Then Arizona meets the LSU Tigers. It's an ABC college basketball doubleheader Saturday.
John Creighton at the controls of the Goodyear Blimp Columbia. What a shot. San Francisco all lit up for the holiday season. The Embarcadero area, the Ferry Building, lower left. Beautiful. Columbia providing the pictures on a beautiful night in the Bay Area. Temperature in the low 50s. Giants begin at the 10. 1st and 10. No score, late first quarter. And there's movement. Anderson, as the play is whistled dead before its inception, you saw Howard Cross moving before the snap.
We saw something else before the snap, too, didn't we, Dan?
Yeah, the 49ers playing some mind games with the Giants. They send out a wave of defensive personnel, let the Giants look at them in the huddle, and then when the Giants got ready to break their huddle, all of a sudden there was a 4-man substitution by the 49ers.
False start. Number 87 in the offense. 5-yard penalty. First down.
And that could have been what pulled Howard Cross into the false start. Seeing a defensive set that he did not feel he was going to see on the play, that was called because of what the Giants coaches had seen.
Giants thus far, we mentioned last week, a 3-to-1 ratio.
At 50 seconds. 50 seconds.
3-to-1 last week passing against running, and a lot of that had nothing to do with the score and playing catch-up. That was by design. Now it's back to the way the Giants normally play, 10-to-5 running. And there is the ratio. First 10 games, heavily weighted toward the run. Last week, totally the other way. Tonight, back to the basics, at least at the outset. 1st and 15 from the 5. 50 seconds to go in the quarter. Anderson fights his way out to the 9-yard line. It'll be 2nd and 11. Keith DeLong, who won a starting job when Michael Walter was hurt and is probably lost for the year, has really developed at that inside linebacker spot for San Francisco. 2nd year out of Tennessee, hurt last year. A lot of last year came along slowly, but really developing.
Michael Walter is eligible to come off of injured reserve for the 49ers, and in talking to George Seifert yesterday, he's not sure when he's going to have his talented middle linebacker back. A neck problem is still bothering Walter, and hopefully he'll be back before the end of the year, but those things are really touchy.
As they say in the vernacular of boxing, kind of a feeling out process in the first quarter. 5 punts, 2 zeros on the scoreboard, and we'll return with Monday Night Football after this commercial message and a word from our ABC station. Well, the game of the year, at least in the regular season, finally here. It doesn't get a lot easier, though, next week. The 49ers have to go to Cincinnati, and the Giants go home against suddenly very potent Minnesota.
Indeed. Minnesota is the team we thought they'd be at the very beginning.
It's funny how we watch these two duke it out here, though. And, you know, the Chicago Bears, we keep talking about the two best teams in football here playing. I'm not so sure.
Well, that's going to lead us to an interesting point in a moment, because it's 2nd down and 11 from the 9-yard line as Sims retreats and then throws a duck that is incomplete and may have been tipped, intended for Ingram. Charles Haley provided the pressure that time.
Right in Sims' face. He could not even see the receiver. Haley with another big play.
3rd down and 11. Dan started to talk about the Bears. No matter what happens tonight, the winner of this game will have the best record in the conference, 11-1. The loser will be 10-2. So will the Bears. But if the season stopped after tonight's game, the Bears would have the tiebreaker in their favor, and they would have that week off in the first week of January. The loser of tonight's game would have to play an extra playoff game. On 3rd and 11, Sims throws incomplete, and the Giants will be forced to kick from deep in their own territory. Greg Cox put the blitzing pressure on that time.
Phil Sims doing what he has done so well this year. He just overthrew that ball, got rid of it, didn't take the sack, didn't get the interception. John Landetta, the best punter in the league, comes out.
Landetta's first kick, more of a pooch punt. Taylor is back at the 50-yard line. This is the 6th punt of the game, and it's a liner caught by Taylor at the 46 and brought back to the 39. So the 49ers clearly have their best field position of the night. 14:42 left in the scoreless first half. In San Francisco, ABC's Monday Night Football is being brought to you by Cadillac and your local Cadillac dealer. Discover why the only way to travel is Cadillac style. And by Bud Light. Everything else is just a light. No score, 14:42 to play, first half. And here are the 49ers starting in opponent's territory. 59% of the time this season, they have scored a touchdown in like circumstances. Best in the league, and they begin this drive with a little pass to Rathman off his fingers. 2nd and 10.
Interesting how far we've gone in this game without mentioning Jerry Rice, who has on several occasions been locked up the single coverage on Mark Collins. He is the best of the defensive backs of the Giants in man-for-man coverage, but you got to feel that sooner or later Montana is going to go to Rice, particularly if he continues to read that single coverage.
Rice split to the right. Montana to this point is a very pedestrian 3 for 8 for 27 yards and has missed his last 4 in a row. And make it 5 now as the play is broken up by Perry Williams getting a hand in on a pass intended for the slanting John Taylor. 3rd down.
Perry Williams is living very dangerously. He has made 2 sensational plays in getting his hand on the ball, but to do so, he has to move in front, and if he miscalculates and doesn't get a hand on the ball, he is in no position to make a play after the receiver would catch it. So give Perry Williams all the credit in the world, but that's a risky move. You don't get the ball, your guy's in the end zone.
3rd and 10 from the 38. Mike Wilson goes in motion. Blitz. He gets it off. It's caught by Harry Sidney inside the 30-yard line. First down to the 26. Mark Collins makes the stop on the 31-year-old veteran who's playing very well in a spot role for the 49ers lately.
Well, he just made a great play out of that. That was a broken screen. The Giants covered the screen. They were right into it, and he took it back across the middle. Ordinarily, he would have been nailed. He saw the opening. See the screen set up to the outside? He reads it, takes it back against the grain, and gets the first down. Just chalk that up to 1 for Harry Sidney. Good play.
1st and 10. 49ers at the 27. No score. Early 2nd quarter. Craig still can't get anything going. Marshall and Guyton are right there to double team him. It's a funny thing about Craig. Remember last year they started talking about, well, is he getting a little old? Is he a little worn down? And then he sort of came on at the end. This year, is it Craig? Is it the injury? Is it the offensive line? What is it?
Well, in that particular play right there, I'll address it. Let me tell you something. Jim Brown wouldn't have gained any more yardage than Roger Craig did right there. I mean, that was poorly blocked at the point of attack. Roger Craig took the handoff and is facing 3 New York Giants. Nowhere to go.
But generally speaking, you don't know. Second and long. Here's Craig making the catch and taking it to the 10-yard line for a first down. And a flag is down at the end of the play. And the Johnson makes the stop.
And the Giants sure seem to think that this play is coming back.
They think correctly.
Yep.
Johnson having an excellent year. The Giants' leading tackler, inside linebacker.
Holding. Number 44 of the offense. Repeat second down.
Fullback Tom Rathman.
Tom Rathman, one of the surest handlers. There he is right here. He's working on Gary Reasons. Let's go ahead and see if we can find the hold. Well, yeah, he's wrapped him up pretty good, even though he didn't drag him to the ground, but he had that left arm encircled around the waist of Gary Reasons, and that brings out the flag.
Total yards, like the score, dead even. 0-0. 12:41 to play. First half. 2nd and 9 at the 26-yard line. Montana throws it away again. He was pressured and got away from the initial pressure from Lawrence Taylor, but still had nobody open.
When Joe Montana first came in this league, remember what the first thing everybody talked about him? It was his tremendous mobility. And here, even into his 30s, that really hasn't changed much. Nice little fake on Lawrence Taylor, who buys the toss, and then a circle back to his right by Joe Montana, who blatantly threw the ball away.
Once again, but you saw a quick look at Harry Sidney. That was a screen to the left side. And Harry Sidney, number 24, got lost in the Giants' defense. Montana couldn't find him, and again, Montana saved the loss.
3rd and 9 at the 26-yard line. Montana fires, and it's knocked down at the 15-yard line by Greg Jackson, who nearly picked it off. Intended for Rice.
I believe that's the first pass we've even seen intended for Jerry Rice. It's just a quick slant, the kind of pass you like to complete, and then let Rice do what he does the very best, and that is run with the football, and Jackson just about picked it off. So far, the Giants' nickel very effective.
So now Mike Kofer comes in to attempt a field goal. It'll be spotted at the 33. It's a 43-yard kick. Barry Hilton to hold. No good. Kofer wide to the left. 49ers come up short on a drive that begins in Giant territory.
And the Giants will get good field position out over their own 25.
For as good as this was supposed to be, it's kind of sloppy.
World of Sports.
Back in San Francisco, Al Michaels, Frank Gifford, Dan Dierdorf. No score. 12:21 to go in the half. The Giants start this drive at their own 26. Sims to throw on first down. Looks initially to set up the screen and then throws it away outside. Howard Cross was closest. Second down.
That was so poorly blocked up front and such a giveaway that it was a screen. Every member of the 49er defensive line read it as a screen and rolled right out into it. Phil Simms had absolutely no choice but to throw that ball away. I mean, you have to make it look like a pass up front. That was such an easy giveaway by the Giants on the offensive line that the 49ers read that thing all over.
Phil wants to play a little more quickly, either that or he wants it a little better defined. That's the signal to the sidelines.
2nd and 10. Double tight end set. Toss to Anderson. Cuts it back. Pulls his way out.
to the 34-yard line. Fagan and Lott converge on the tackle. It's going to be 3rd and about 3.
There is no hesitation on the part of Otis Anderson at the age of 33 to break that thing back across the middle. That's where he picks up so much of his yardage, and you just know you're going to get hammered. And this is what he did not do, I think you'll agree, Dan, when he came to the Giants from St. Louis.
One of the things you really have to give Otis Anderson a great deal of credit is how he has changed, how he has modified his style of running the football to please Bill Parcells. That's why he's still playing for the Giants.
3rd and 3. Sims sidearms one incomplete up at the 42-yard line, intended for Troy Kiles, the rookie out of Howard. He was covered by Dave Waymer, and we'll see Landetta's 4th punt of the game. Fagan that time put the pressure on Sims.
That was great coverage on the part of Waymer, and he has meant so much to these 49ers. We'll look at it again. Number 43, the former New Orleans Saint, who played so many years at cornerback. They tried him at safety down there and then didn't protect him, and the 49ers have found a great player just when they needed one.
Sean Landetta, bad liner, caught at the 28 by Taylor. And he runs parallel to the 30 and steps out at the 29-yard line.
We have seen 3 of the worst kicks by Landetta, who led the league coming into tonight, that I think I've ever seen. And he's shaking his head. Parcells is right on his tail, too. We'd like to talk this over a little bit.
Sean said, well, at least it went that way.
We also have a flag, and I believe a clip on Harry Sidney may be forthcoming, which is going to pin the 49ers further back. Dale Hamer, referee.
Illegal block. Number 24 on the return. First down. Timeout.
Sidney shakes his head. Take a look at this one.
There's Harry Sidney to the right. You see him coming up. That's Renee Thompson. Well, he hits him from behind. I mean, it was hardly a vicious block. That's where you have to go way out of your way not to even touch the guy.
Beginning at 8 Eastern. Here, no score, first down, San Francisco from the 19-yard line, and Montana has to improvise and picks up 2, takes it to the 21. John Washington makes the tackle. After Landetta's last kick, let's go back on tape.
We talked about Bill Parcells. He doesn't mince any words with his players. They like him for that, too. He chews on them, lets them know exactly where he stands. We saw him go at Phil Simms in the Indianapolis game a few weeks ago, and people were all upset about it, but he lets them know exactly how he feels. And Landetta has kicked 3 lousy punts. Of course, he added a few adjectives to it.
Looks like Parcells has a personal Landetta with that guy.
Second and 8.
So early.
The safety blitz was on, and it's incomplete, intended for Craig. Greg Jackson came flying through, and here's a guy who's picked up 4 sacks already this season, and he's got a teammate on his sideline right now, Dave Duerson, who holds the NFL record since they've been keeping sacks by defensive backs. That started back in 1982.
One of the most underrated defensive backs around. He has played great at that strong safety position. And tonight he's being asked to play almost as a linebacker in this nickel defense. The Giants continue to go with the 5 defensive backs.
Third down 8, 49ers from the 21. Sidney goes in motion. 4-man rush. Montana needs help, improvises, throws it away again, and we are set for our 8th punt of the night.
Thus far, the 49ers should think about going back to the drawing board, because what they are calling is just not working against this defense. The play before this, they had a flood to the right, and I'm sure George Seifert is thinking just the same thing. They had a flood to the right. There wasn't one receiver open. That time, downfield wasn't open, and just had to throw it away.
And you saw the Giants saying to Hamer, hey, when are you going to call grounding here?
Look at the coverage. And there's no, it wasn't Montana, but this time he's in trouble as the man crosses over the middle. He has to throw it away.
Well, Mike Wilson was the closest 49er receiver. He was a good 10 yards away.
Here's Helton's kick, very inartistic. And it plopses down at the 43-yard line.
Natural surface
blocked by Mike Fox.
A natural surface will not give you much of a roll either.
No.
So we've seen some very poor punting tonight.
We've seen a lot of poor stuff so far tonight.
Under Landetta said, look at that, Bill. He can't kick either.
Football. Beautiful Coit Tower on Telegraph Hill in San Francisco, built to honor San Francisco's firefighters. A spectacular sight. We'll take an elevator ride to the top. Great tourist attraction. And back we come to Candlestick. Giants from the 43. Anderson to the outside. And Ronnie Lott finally runs him out of bounds after a gain of 5 up to the 48. First half so far. Been a punting duel. 4 for Helton, 4 for Landeta. And there it is. Every Giant possession resulting in a punt.
If you just joined us, you haven't missed a whole lot.
Yep. Well, we mentioned at the top, it had the makings early on of that, the classic heavyweight fight, a little feeling out process, but the crowd is ready for a few haymakers here.
I can assure you there is intensity down there. There is major league hitting.
2nd and 6. Sims is caught by Bavaro. It's a first down, and Lott rides him down at the 29-yard line. And there is your first haymaker, 23-yard pickup.
And I wonder if Ronnie Lott is thinking back to 1986 when Mark Bavaro gave him about a 10-yard ride. But this time, Bavaro comes across the middle. They chuck him at the line of scrimmage, try to cover him with Haley. That's not good at all. Haley's a great football player, but you cannot cover a Bavaro. And Bavaro, who still perhaps is only about 95% with a bad knee, gets the first down inside the 30.
Just to follow up, he was ejected last week. He was fined $500, which is the normal fine. The case, though, is still being reviewed by the league. He could be suspended. It's possible. The case is not closed. To the 29-yard line, no gain for Hampton. The reason, of course, is that there was contact with one of the officials in Philadelphia last week, and the league is still looking at it.
And it was Ronnie Lott who took the major ride in '86, and I think he was maybe thinking about it a few moments ago.
And the Giants rode that play right to the Super Bowl. 2nd and 10. Fake to Hampton. Sims with room to roam. But coming up to make the tackle is Bill Romanowski at the 27-yard line.
Oh, great job by Darryl Pollard. Deep downfield. Sims was trying to get the ball upfield to Ingram, and Pollard just would not let him get by. Pollard a bit like the Giants' Mark Collins. Very underrated in his man-to-man coverage ability.
Giants at the 26, 3rd down and 7. 7:45 remaining. First half, no score. Meggett is in. Number 30, Sims in the gun. 49ers rush 6. And that opens it up for Ingram over the middle. He takes it to the 19, very close to a first down. Don Griffin makes the tackle, and it is a first down for New York.
One of the rare times the Giants will go to the outside receiver. This is only the 15th reception for Ingram. And they just don't go outside. They've been going to the tight ends and the running backs. But Ingram coming all the way across the field. He has the coverage by Griffin, but he is open, and the Giants gave Sims time to deliver it.
7 minutes remaining. First quarter, no score. First down, Giants at the 49er 18. Anderson, Waymer, Millen, Pollard push him back. Forward progress to about the 16. It's a gain of 2. Candlestick Park, home of the San Francisco Giants and the 49ers. The Giants play here in all seasons.
Beautiful night, too, Al. I know you have been here so many times covering baseball, this being your former home.
Well, the best weather of the year is during the fall. It's far better here during football season than baseball season. Winter comes in July here.
It's been a spectacular few days out here.
2nd and 9 at the 17. That's Cross in motion. Anderson takes it to the 14. That's going to set up a 3rd and 6. Michael Carter, the nose tackle, 95, makes the stop.
Giants trying to get it done with the 2 tight ends, going against the #1 defense in the league against the rush. The 49ers.
If you're just joining us, 8 punts, 4 by each team. Only 1 field goal attempted, a missed effort by Mike Hofer. And this is the first time the Giants have been in true field goal range. 3rd and 6.
3 wide receivers and Meggett.
Meggett in motion. And they even send Hampton into the pattern. And Sims releases, and it's deflected and caught by Stephen Baker after it bounced off the hands of Rodney Hampton. 1st and goal at the 3.
I'll tell you, that's some good hand stuff. Great concentration on the part of Baker. Sims drilled it into Hampton. He didn't handle it. And it was spinning and spiraling as it came into the hands of Baker. Good protection once again. Actually deflected away by Waymer. Great effort by Stephen Baker.
1st and goal, New York at the 3. Anderson. Maybe a yard. Maybe less. 2nd and goal. This drive commenced at the Giant 44-yard line. 4:25 to go, first half.
So many people, when they think about the 49ers and a word to apply to that team, they come up with words like finesse. Well, there is really not a great deal of finesse involved with this man's defensive team. You can see the lack of success the Giants are having trying to challenge the 49er defensive line. Holt, Fagan, Carter, they're winning the battle at the line of scrimmage.
2nd and goal with 3 tight ends in the alignment. The play fake. Sims under pressure, throws too high. Off the fingertips of Mark Bavaro in the end zone. It'll be 3rd and goal.
That time pressure on Sims and good coverage in the end zone. Sims wanted to roll to the outside, and the pressure that Dan spoke of a moment ago, and they are ruling the line of scrimmage, forced him to stay in the pocket.
This year, after 1st and goal, the Giants have been able to put it into the end zone roughly 7 of 8 times. 2nd highest percentage in the league. And now they're faced with a 3rd and goal against the Niner defense, which is #1 in the league against the run and 19th against the pass. And Parcells is going to take a timeout here, the first timeout of the game, with 3:54 remaining in the first half. No score, 3rd and goal when we come back. Here comes Sims now. Ron Earhart is the Giants offensive coordinator. Sims huddling with Parcells. 3rd and goal.
Good move. The Giants a little uncertain. They use a timeout. Scoreless game. You don't want to blow it when you get down this close.
Baker and Ingram are both split to the left. And Carthen is on a wing to the right. Anderson is the sole setback. Anderson behind some blocking, but no room at all. Stopped at the 2.5.
Well, a most interesting series of calls by the Giants, who get ultra conservative. They get a break, they catch a lucky ride on a deflected pass that's a completion, and then 3 shots, they don't get anywhere near the goal line. And the 49ers defensively are playing one fine ball game. Aided a bit by some interesting play calling by the Giants.
Matt Barr, the longtime Brown, who spent part of 1982 with the 49ers, boots it through. So finally some points up on the board. A 20-yard field goal for Matt Barr culminates this drive with 3:26 remaining in the half.
This morning, I don't have to decide who to throw to
Montana connects for a touchdown.
or what play to call. It's nice when the only choice you got to make is what to wear. Because with the style of Hanes activewear, that's easy. It all looks great.
Now you're wearing what
So good looking. Where can I take you?
Everywhere.
nothing else feels so right.
Might wonder, could not the Giants come up with something a little more imaginative? Take a timeout. Come in running against the strength of the 49er defense. We mentioned earlier the #1 defense against the run in the league, but it did appear as though Phil Simms changed the play at the line of scrimmage. Turned around, and it appeared that he did make the change, but I'm sure if he made the change, it was one that was expected to be made, according to the defensive alignment. But again, not very dramatic, not very imaginative selection of plays.
Barr kicks off, taken up at the 7-yard line by Spencer Tillman, who breaks it out past the 30 to the 37. With 3:16 to play in the first half. 30-yard run back for the former Oklahoma Sooner. There is Bo Jackson. Big day yesterday. Raiders beat Denver. Raiders tied with KC for the lead in the AFC West. They head east to meet the Lions and Barry Sanders at the Silverdome next Monday.
Yeah, that touchdown run yesterday against Denver, it looked like a very speedy Jimmy Brown. Knocking over Broncos all the way.
First down, 49ers at the 36-yard line. Here's Craig for a gain of 5 up to the 41-yard line. Eric Howard and Pepper Johnson converge on the stop. 3:05 remaining in the half. And all 3 timeouts at San Francisco's disposal.
I don't think we'll see many runs like that on this drive. The clock under 2:50. They got a good return. Time for the 49ers to make a little something happen here offensively.
2nd and 5. Craig in motion. Pressure on Montana. He releases low, intended for Taylor at his feet. He was covered by Williams.
He was open. Another bad pass by Montana. That's the 49ers passing offense. Nothing terribly imaginative about it, but you get the ball to speedy wide receivers like Rice and Taylor and then let them do the rest on the run. That time Montana didn't do his part. Montana shaking his head and Seifert shaking his head.
3rd and 6. Rice still without a catch tonight. Top of your screen, Taylor split left. Montana goes underneath to Craig. He has a first down. He's inside the Giant 40, and he's run down at the 27 by Greg Jackson.
And this is what you have to take if you can't go to the outside receivers, Taylor and Rice. You've got to take Craig over the middle. You've got to take the tight end in the middle, Brent Jones. And the Giants have taken away the Taylor and Rice threat, but they have left the Craig open over the middle.
This will take us to the 2-minute warning. Niners have a 1st and 10 at the Giant 28-yard line. All 3 timeouts remaining.
Craig coming out of the backfield, no one even with him. And he gets the 49ers in great field position with 2 minutes remaining in the half.
IBM presents You Make the Call. Chris Chandler of the Colts passes to Bill Brooks, who is contacted by a 49er at the 4, touches his hand down at the 2, and then stretches the ball through the plane of the goal line before any other part of his body touches the ground. Now you make the call. Is this a touchdown? What call did you make? A ball carrier is not considered down until some part of his body other than a hand or foot touches the ground. This is a touchdown.
Don't be alarmed. This is on tape. We just taped this a minute ago while we were in commercial. Shot of the moon. We're setting it up for coming out of commercial. And San Francisco International Airport is close by. And
that is
Spielberg couldn't have planned it that way. I mean, that's amazing.
The early flight to St. Louis.
I think that's a... Is that a
Looks like a 727.
I was going to say.
Back to reality.
2 minutes to go. First half. 3-0 New York. 1st and 10 at the 28-yard line. Roger Craig taken down by Gary Reasons after a gain of 5 to the 23-yard line. Clock ticking, 1:45 to go in the half.
No huddle offense for the 49ers. Play having already been called as Montana looks it over to see if he wants to change.
2nd and 5 at the 23. And Montana fires into the end zone. Touchdown, Taylor.
You can stop them for a long time, but sooner or later you keep going to them, they're going to get you.
Well, the Giants right there paid the price for coming with a 3-man pass rush. Lawrence Taylor dropped off into coverage. They send 3 defensive linemen. They don't get anywhere near Joe Montana.
And Mark Collins, top of your screen, tied up man for man on Taylor. They double Rice on the other side. Perfectly thrown.
Hofer for the point after. Pelton will put it down. San Francisco by 4 with 90 seconds remaining in the half.
What a pair of weapons. You saw Montana. He pump faked to Jerry Rice. That kept the safety from dropping into the coverage. That was Everson Walls who had the deep hole you can see here, but he went for the pump fake to Rice. Montana comes off, and Collins with man for man could not stay with Taylor. Again, perfectly thrown to John Taylor. Great pair of weapons. A lot of question this week as to whether Taylor would be able to go. In trouble over the past few weeks with a very sore knee.
Montana throwing his 25th touchdown pass of the season. Taylor with his 6th touchdown reception this year. 7-3 49ers with 1.5 minutes to go in the half. When the Giants get the ball back, they have 2 timeouts remaining. Hampton and Meggett drop back to receive the kick from Kofer. Bounces at the 14, fielded by Meggett on the run at the 7. And brought to the ground with a flag at the 26-yard line. Spencer Tillman in on the tackle. Dale Hamer, the referee. Goes against the Giants.
Illegal block. Number 34 on the return. First down.
Lewis Tillman.
I think that penalty that will back the Giants up should pretty much resolve what we will see offensively on the part of the Giants with 1:23 remaining in the half.
Well, also you have to keep in mind the 49ers have all 3 of their timeouts. If the Giants are going to be content to just flop this ball up in the line of scrimmage 3 times, I think the 49ers will use their timeouts and stop the clock.
Certainly the way Landette has been punting.
Excellent point. First down at the 16-yard line. Sims off the play fake. Caught by Anderson. And he stopped for no gain or a minimal 1 at best. Cox and Waymer in on the stop. Second down.
I can't believe the 49ers are letting the clock go.
1:05 and ticking.
Well, you've got a 2nd and long yardage situation. You still have all 3 timeouts. Why not take a chance to get the ball back?
Well, maybe on 3rd down for sure. But maybe they're thinking, hey, if you give New York another opportunity and then you wind up getting burned, I don't know.
When they're on their own 15-yard line? And you can't think about getting burned in that situation.
2nd down and 11 at the 15. And here's Anderson out to about the 20. In a way, Dan, it's exactly the way the half has been played. Very close to the vest.
Yeah, and I think this is a little too conservative for me.
Well, nobody's going to stop the clock.
Well, Bill Parcells couldn't be happier. I mean, he didn't even have to get a first down, and he didn't even have to punt. That's the most he could have asked for, and he got it.
We'll feature him at the half. Teams leave the field after the first 30 minutes of play. 8 punts in the half. 1 touchdown and 1 field goal in the half. Our halftime score is San Francisco 7, New York 3. Back we come after this.
The Toyota Halftime Report. Brought to you by your Toyota dealers and their quality line of cars and trucks. Toyota, I love what you do for me. Here now, Frank Gifford.
We're back at Candlestick Park. We're at halftime, the San Francisco 49ers and the New York Giants. Well, so many times we take those shots of head coaches prowling the sidelines, talking into their headsets, yakking at other coaches or players, and we really wish we could give you a better idea of what's really going on. Well, tonight, with the help of the Giants' Bill Parcells and some NFL Films high-tech equipment, we're going to try to move in a little closer. The game the Giants and the Miami Dolphins played earlier this year. The spotlight on Bill Parcells.
All right, Phil, let's start with this.
We're going, Bill.
Let's go 6Z halfway, age 42A.
Regular. Dump it!
How about it today, okay? That's 2 holdings. Let's go, buddy. You know, we got a chance to win the game if you guys will just quit holding.
I know.
And they're starting to crack, and we just let them back in. I'll tell you, I'm not going to play them if they hold. They could sit there down or go somewhere else. 10 yards back.
They have to kick it from 10 yards.
Kick it again.
Okay, here we go. 10 minutes. Hold it. It's a previous spot enforcement. You're going to go back to the previous spot.
And what's this? Nothing?
Otherwise, you get it right here.
We'll take it right here.
Bill, get him out.
Here's what I want to do. I want to get the 2 tights in. Let's go load left and let's go 90 here.
2 tight.
Hold on now. Don't let you up.
Right here. Hold up.
Yeah.
Let's go scat. Well, we can go double seam, and I'll tell Megan to run it like scat.
There he is.
All right.
We go double seam, he mans it. Don't hook it up.
Don't you make your mind up with him. I'm trying to get the first down.
Where you want? We're going.
Bill, come on. Let's go now. If you're going to get a blitz now, you might get one right here.
I might go red 90 if I do it.
All right.
You're all up in there.
Yeah, but don't guess now.
I don't want to throw it there.
Right, okay? That's it, Dougie. That's the way to go, Will. That's what we need right there.
College basketball doubleheader we have coming your way on ABC Sports. It'll be sensational. Michigan's Wolverines head down south to play the Duke Blue Devils. And then we go further down south. It'll be Arizona taking on the LSU Tigers. It's all coming up Saturday on ABC's College Basketball.
We're back, halftime, Candlestick Park, San Francisco. San Francisco leading the Giants 7-3 in a game which, well, if there wasn't so much on the line, you'd say it's kind of boring, but it has not been eventful yet. You get the feeling that something is going to explode at any minute, like it did for the 49ers in the last couple of minutes of the first half.
Been a punting contest thus far, but the 49ers were able to capitalize. No, not at all. Each team with 4 punts. And as we take a look at some of the highlights, and there aren't many of them in the first half, here was a key play on 3rd and 6 on the 49ers drive with less than 2 minutes to play in the half. Roger Craig taking this for a 31-yard gain. It is his longest play of the year, either by rushing or receiving. And, of course, when you double Taylor and Rice, it opens it up for somebody else. And then Montana's able to come back and find John Taylor in the end zone. And Taylor, who missed a good part of last week's game with the Rams, has been slow in coming back from a knee injury, gets open there. So the Giants were able, Dan, to take Rice out of the game in the first half. Jerry hasn't caught a pass, but John Taylor is able to spring free, and that's the difference in the game right now.
I think they've only gone to Jerry Rice one time in the entire first half. And what's interesting here, I think, and on this touchdown, the Giants only send 3 guys to rush Joe Montana. I think they'd had some success earlier in that half by disrupting Montana's rhythm, by sending some people, by blitzing and getting in his face. I think this is a mistake by New York to think that they can only send 3 guys. That allows San Francisco to do what they like to do best, run crossing patterns all the way across the field, and Montana will find people and burn the Giants.
But you saw that a moment ago. You saw Montana have the time literally to pump fake to Jerry Rice, pull Everson Walls out of the hole, and get Taylor man for man in a situation with Mark Collins.
Who's going to open this game up in the second half?
Well, I think that, I think 2 things. One, the Giants didn't show me on 3rd and 5 down on the goal line that they're ready to open this game up by sending Otis Anderson into the line. If anybody's going to open up this game, it's going to be the 49ers, and we know that Jerry Rice will not be silent the entire second half.
The 2 teams that know each other so well, we've seen some dramatic second halves between these 2 ball clubs on a beautiful night in San Francisco as we pull back from Candlestick Park. And we'll be back with the second half action in a moment.
Everything's changing. Wasting is out. Saving, conserving, all that stuff's in. Ecology, definitely in. Make the most of what you've got, and you'll be surprised at what you get. We are going to save the world. But until then, I'll settle for saving a little money. It's simple. New values, new car.
Introducing the all-new Toyota Tercel at a great price, $64.88. The one new value you can drive.
Things that you can depend on, things that you can believe in.
The Toyota Halftime Report has been brought to you by your Toyota dealers and their quality line of cars and trucks. Toyota, I love what you do for me. We'll be back with the second half after word from our ABC stations. Please think when you drink this holiday season.
Back with the second half at Candlestick Park, San Francisco. Al Michaels, Frank Gifford, Dan Deerdorf. Phil Simms and the Giants will be getting the ball at the outset of the second half. Very conservative first half. 7-3. 49ers lead by 4. Montana to Taylor, the only touchdown in the first 30 minutes of action. Hampton and Meggett are back for the Giants. Mike Kofer to kick off for San Francisco. Hampton at the 14. Back out to the 33-yard line. First half stats reflective of the conservatism. As we look at the numbers, neither team with a turnover. We've had no turnovers, we've had no fumbles, period, and no sacks.
Although we did have one significant play in a backfield. That was by Charles Haley on the Giants' first possession that knocked the Giants out of field goal range and forced the Landetta punt. So didn't count as a sack. It was even better than a sack for that man right there, Charles Haley, who has his share. He's already got a dozen sacks on the year.
Phil Simms has completed a half dozen passes. He is 6 for 14 as we start the third quarter. Anderson works to the outside and takes it up to the 35-yard line. Pollard and DeLong converge on the stop after a gain of about 3.
Well, that was a nice play at the point of attack by Charles Haley, a guy who I think whose reputation in this league is mostly as a pass rusher, but that time he stuffs it at the line of scrimmage. Watch this. He's across from Doug Riesenberg, takes on Riesenberg, gives no ground, moves upfield, takes on Maurice Carthen, and actually forces Otis Anderson all the way to the outside. That's a fine piece of work there by Charles Haley.
2nd and 7 at the 35-yard line. On the ground, Anderson again, gain of 2. It'll be 3rd and 5. Matt Millen makes the tackle with some help.
This is a Giant offensive line that is missing John Elliott over at left tackle. He's been out now for the better part of 2 months, and this is a line, though, that has had a lot of success in just bulldozing people off the line of scrimmage. Well, that success has come to a screeching halt here tonight.
Elliott also has the worst, there he is, he has the worst kind of injury for a team because they haven't put him on injured reserve, meaning every week he has to be on the inactive list and can't be replaced on the roster. 3rd and a short 5 at the 37. Sims hit as he throws, deflected and incomplete. Off the hands of Baker, it was Larry Roberts who forced the issue.
49ers coming with the blitz. They did not have the right numbers. Meggett stepped up and picked up one blitzer, but they couldn't account for all of them.
Well, that time, Eric Moore, the left tackle, it's his responsibility to block Roberts, and he didn't get off at the snap. I don't know if the crowd noise was too much, but you can see number 60 there. He did not respond at all. Roberts gets upfield and gets a relatively clear shot at Phil Simms.
Landetta's 5th punt of the night is his best of the night. Taylor fields at the 7. Looks for blocking. Up past the 20 and tripped up at the 25-yard line. Bobby Abrams was the guy who got a hand on him. Otherwise, he gets just one man to beat.
That one man would have been Landetta once again. 49ers setting up well on their special teams with John Taylor returning the punt.
56-yard kick, 25-yard run back.
You'll seldom see a guy get tackled with less of his body being hit than this. Watch how little of Taylor Abrams gets. I mean, right on the heel of the shoe. And John Taylor goes down. There's a lunging Abrams. And he really, what he does is he forces both of Taylor's legs to hit each other. And that's how he goes down.
From the 31-yard line, Roger Craig picks up about 2. Eric Howard in on the tackle.
I don't know why the 49ers aren't throwing the ball on first down more. I mean, this is a team that lives by the pass, and yet more often than I would do it, are trying to stuff the ball into the line of scrimmage on first down, setting up what Mike Holmgren told us last night he just doesn't want to see, and that is the 2nd and long. Now the Giants defensively are dictating to the 49ers in this situation.
Particularly, Dan, against a prevent defense, 5 defensive backs, you should be able to run against it.
Look out. 2nd and 8. Pressure is on. It's caught by Rice. His initial catch of the evening results in a first down. Myron Guyton made the tackle, and Montana was able to get it away despite Lawrence Taylor.
Rice with the patented all the way across the field. You have to protect Montana to give them time to execute this play, but Rice comes from clear across the field, and here is the dilemma that has been confronting Lawrence Taylor all night long.
He blows the corner on Bubba Paris, and Montana has the time to find Jerry Rice. Look how close, though, Montana comes to taking a big shot in the back. You know it can't last long that number 80 is not a part of this game.
13-yard pickup. First down at the 46-yard line. Montana off the fake. Buys a lot of time and a lot of room and airs it out, and it's incomplete, intended for Mike Wilson, who'd gotten position on Mark Collins, who had jumped, but he couldn't hold on. Mike Wilson, who has 4 Super Bowl rings. He's been here 10 years.
Collins and Wilson are man for man. Let's watch the coverage. Collins is looking into the backfield, looking at Montana. All of a sudden, Montana releases it deep. Collins goes up very early, right there.
Well, it looks like he actually stumbled over Mike Wilson's foot. It's not often that you'll see a defensive back that never once looks at the receiver. Mark Collins, that time, from the original line of scrimmage, looked at no one except Joe Montana.
2nd and 10. Craig on a sweep into Giant territory. Tackled by Pepper Johnson at the 47-yard line. Behind McIntyre and Barton on that sweep.
That looked vaguely familiar. Now, that's what the 49ers would like to be doing. Pulling both guards, leading Craig, and getting the key blocks and getting big yardage out of it.
And Craig slow in getting up.
Pepper Johnson this time walks right up into the line of scrimmage. That delays him a bit in getting out. But he is the first Giant that gets to Roger Craig. There aren't many teams in the league that still try to get both of their guards out in front of the play. The 49ers are one of those teams, and you see that Roger Craig hobbled a bit, is over on the bench.
Meanwhile, Jerry Rice lines up in the backfield and goes in motion. 3rd and 3. Dexter Carter is in the game. Fake toss to him. Taylor puts the pressure on Montana, and the pass is dropped by Jones. Montana able to get it away. Taylor still sackless tonight, and Roger Craig, who missed some time earlier this year with a knee problem. Looks like he has maybe a rib problem here.
Taylor becoming a factor in the early going of the third quarter. This time Montana had to release that before he wanted to. Jones had not come clear yet for the first down yardage, and credit that one to Taylor.
And doing something that he very much wanted to do, and that's move around a little bit. He moved to the opposite side of the formation, had some success.
Pelton to punt on 4th and 4. His 5th punt of the night and the 10th punt of the game. And the 49ers can't keep it in. Greg Cox was down there, but it bounces into the end zone. And that will give New York the ball at the 20-yard line. 10:49 remaining. Roger Craig, meanwhile, is going off at least temporarily to the 49er locker room. A look at how he hurt himself.
Nothing extraordinary. Of course, he has been favoring a sore knee. We'll get a report in a moment.
The Michigan Wolverines take on the Blue Devils at Duke. Then Arizona meets the LSU Tigers. It's an ABC college basketball doubleheader Saturday.
The Goodyear Blimp Columbia providing the spectacular scenics. That's the Ferry Building at the foot of Market Street, right on the water in San Francisco, all decked out for the holidays. At the 20-yard line, the Giants on 1st and 10. And Sims gets popped. It's a live ball. It is picked up by Anderson. So the play is still going, and Anderson gets back past the line of scrimmage, takes it to the 22-yard line. He's tackled by Kugler, and Haley is hurt.
Yeah, that might be the biggest part of this play was the chop block that came back on Haley. Charles Haley was in pursuit, and you see him hobbling off the field.
He left last week's game with a bad knee too, Dan.
Well, Haley, interesting. He's the guy that caused all this. It was Charles Haley coming on a blitz from the top of the formation. Hits Phil Simms that knocks the ball loose. Boy, you can see him move to the inside on Eric Moore, rather. And that is a fumble all the way. But watch Haley if we get a shot of him when he gets up.
First fumble of the game. It turns out to be a 2-yard gain, and Anderson then takes it to the 26. It'll be 3rd and 4. Matt Millen makes the tackle. So Haley is shaken up. Craig is back in the locker room right now.
You know, there's Haley getting up after it, and there's the block from the side. Doug Riesenberg comes in and takes him down. A legal block. A legal block all the way by Riesenberg, and Charles Haley nicked.
3rd down and 4 at the 26. 9:20 remaining. Third quarter, still 7-3 49ers. Sims incomplete. Waymer with the coverage, and the celebration. Troy Kiles can't hold on. 4th down. 11th punt of the game coming up.
Waymer making big plays all night long for the 49ers. Again, that was one that should have been caught by Kiles. Waymer, however, was right there. And what a loss for the 49ers if they lose Charles Haley. He has 12 of their 32 sacks.
You better make it
play the run tough.
Make it 13. That was number 13 that hit on Sims.
Landetta's kick, a good one. Room for Taylor to roam. Fumbles the ball. Tries to get it back. It's loose, and out of bounds it goes. It'll belong to the 49ers at the 32-yard line.
You know, what a smart play by John Taylor. I'm not so sure that he wasn't trying to swat the ball out of bounds. Rather than gather it back, it almost looked like he tried to swat the ball out of bounds. What an intelligent play by Taylor. Now watch how it's forced out right there. You can see the ball come loose. David Whitmore hits it. But he's trying to swat the ball out of bounds. Rather than try to pick it up in traffic where it might get knocked out again. An intelligent play by John Taylor.
Would have had a clean swat, too, except it hits his body on the way out. And for the moment, it's an anxious moment for the 49ers staying in, but it finally winds up going out of bounds.
That almost backfired.
Yes. 51-yard kick, 8-yard run back. 8:59 remaining in the third quarter. 49ers have it when we come back. 7-3 San Fran.
Avoid the Lions' mighty bite. Oh, my rowdy friends are here on Monday night.
On the run back, 49ers were penalized for holding called against Bill Romanowski. That sets them back to the 13-yard line. 1st and 10. They lead by 4. Montana off the fake, throws over the middle, and underneath. It's caught by Dexter Carter, the rookie from Florida State, their top draft choice, who is playing right now because Roger Craig, you saw, went back to the locker room, and we're still awaiting a report on what appeared to be perhaps a hip pointer.
It's not that Dexter Carter has not been in this role before. Craig hurt his hip in the opening game of the season, later hurt his knee, so he's been playing rather infrequently up until the past couple of weeks, and it has been Dexter Carter, the #1 draft pick out of Florida State, that has filled in.
The report on Craig, bruised right hip. He's back in the locker room at the moment. He will return. 2nd and 1. That's Wesley Walls in motion, Lawrence Taylor's best buddy. Carter squirts out to the 31. Sidebar to this game, of course, last year it was Walls who threw the block on Taylor, resulting in the hairline fracture of the ankle, and that gave a few people something to write about and talk about this week.
Yeah, Walls has never been, let's put it this way, he's not been happy about the amount of publicity that's generated. In his own defense, he says, well, Lawrence Taylor has never said that I cheap shotted him. He said it was a legal block, and I've never heard LT say anything about me cheap shotting him. He's getting a whole lot of publicity that he doesn't think he deserves.
1st down, Niners at the 30-yard line. 7.5 to go, 3rd quarter. Montana takes off. Takes it out to the 38-yard line. Stopped by Everson Walls. Again, pretty much buttoned up here in the 3rd quarter. You know, if this game were a political football, I suppose it would be extreme right wing.
Yeah, but
very conservative.
At least the 49ers here have opened it up. They've had 2 first down plays on this drive. One was a successful pass to Dexter Carter, then the run on 2nd and short, which gained big yardage, and now another attempted pass on 1st down. Joe Montana takes the ball, and look again, they're facing a 2nd and 1. It's a 2nd and 1 is a dream come true, and you hear the ovation for this guy coming back out onto the field.
2nd and a long one from the 39. Here's Carter again. Tunnels his way just past the 40 and close to a 1st down behind a Guy McIntyre block. And Dale Hamer, they call for a measurement.
He slithered close to one. Carter is only 5'9" and 178 pounds, but much like the Giants' Dave Meggett, he plays much bigger than that.
Yards per carry, the starters this season. Remember, the league average is an even 4. There's Craig barely over 3, Rathman under 3, but Harry Sidney's done well in a reserve role, and Dexter Carter has done better than the 2 starters. Third and inches.
Well, Frank, if they still do it the way they used to, if it was Roger Craig's hip pointer that was bothering him again, he went into the locker room and got a shot of cortisone right into that hip.
Punch it up with a little Novocaine and zap it in there, and ooh, will it smart tomorrow.
I think you and I have both danced to that tune before.
3rd and inches.
Doesn't make us very smart, does it? Oh.
Harry Sidney is in the game along with Tom Rathman. And it is Rathman burrowing for what he hopes is those necessary inches, and they are. Diassi makes the stop, but not until the 49ers keep the drive going. 6:10 to play, 3rd quarter. Charles Haley, the report on Haley was a bruise or a leg cramp. He will return.
Well, that is good news. He's a great football player, and every time somebody goes down and grabs for the knee, as a former player, you look at it and say, you just hope it didn't happen.
Well, they're working on Haley, and I also noticed John Taylor is on the bench, and they're working on him as well at the moment. 1st down from the 41-yard line. Carter in motion. Montana, before getting sandwiched, fires incomplete to the 42-yard line, intended for Wilson. Taylor and Marshall.
Oh, that hurt,
ever-present firm was right there.
Oh, that hurt. To deliver that ball, Montana knew that he was going to take a shot, and he did. And again, good coverage forced Montana to look for the alternate receiver. And he gets sandwiched just as he releases it. Marshall and Taylor.
One other thing about the Giants defense, we mentioned Carl Banks activated tonight after that broken wrist. He's been out a month and a half, and yet Banks has not been in the game tonight. And second and long, nothing develops in the form of blocking for Dexter Carter as Gary Reasons is there to break the play up. There is Carl Banks, who's been nothing but a spectator tonight. Funny thing about, you take a look at the Giants. We talked about Elliott. He's been hurt. They still haven't been able to put him on injured reserve. Takes up a roster spot. Banks not playing tonight.
I think they would love to get through this game without having to go with Banks. They have been going all night long with 5 linebackers, and the linebacker that is out of there is Johnny Cooks, who fills in for Banks.
3rd and 9. John Taylor, who they were working on a moment ago, is back in the game. Montana the fake, and then tries to dump it off, and it gets batted at the line of scrimmage. Leonard Marshall appeared to get a hand on it.
Again, good coverage on the part of the Giants downfield. Montana looking for a receiver downfield, first down yardage. Nobody uncovered, and he had to try to dump it off, kind of a helter-skelter, and it's incomplete.
Barry Helton now, his 6th punt, 12th punt of the game. Dave Meggett back at the 20. Wobbly, end over end liner. Meggett at the 23. And Meggett brings it back to the 43, a 20-yard run back. Johnny Jackson makes the tackle. Giants will start this drive from near midfield. 4:34 left in the 3rd. Doubleheader college basketball. That's Coach K of Duke on the right. His Blue Devils against Michigan. Open it. And then Arizona taking on LSU at 4 o'clock Eastern. Then, a week from tonight, Raiders, Lions, Jackson and Allen and Sanders and company on Monday Night Football. First down, New York, 43-yard line. Haley is back in the game. Here's a little flea flicker. And Phil Simms has Ingram open, and he makes the catch at the 35-yard line. Covered by Pollard. First down, New York.
Well-designed play. There was a deep man, Baker, that could have got the 6 when he was covered well by the 49ers. Phil was able to check off and get it to Ingram. There's the handoff. Goes to Anderson. He flips it back. He looks first to Baker. He's covered. Comes across the field and finds Ingram.
First and 10, 35. 4:12 remaining, 3rd quarter. San Francisco leads by 4. Simms protected well. Too high. Dave Waymer almost intercepts it. Intended for Bavaro.
And Ronnie Lott almost kills Mark Bavaro. Waymer's still down on the field. You can see him clutching his leg. Mark Bavaro pays a huge price for this overthrown Phil Simms pass.
While Waymer is coming off the field shaken up.
How many guys in the league?
Ronnie Lott.
How many players, Al, would get up at all?
You're right. Tonight, anyway.
Not a question of timing. Ronnie Lott again sets the tone for this entire team.
2nd and 10. Waymer out. John Jackson is in to spell him. Simms fires, batted away at the 25 by the aforementioned Johnny Jackson. So Simms picks on the one spot that's vacated when Waymer goes out, and Jackson is equal to the task.
Again, another good look at perfect timing by a defensive back, being able to get in front of the receiver and get a hand on the football. We saw Perry Williams doing it earlier for the Giants. This time it was Johnny Jackson's turn.
3rd and 10 at the 35.
Here comes Haley.
Knocked out. Loose ball. 3 red shirts is surrounding it.
I think Charles Haley is the guy, Al, that knocked the ball out.
That's a good bet with the 49ers.
Dennis Brown is at the bottom of that pile, too. 49er football.
They brought them all on 3rd and long.
I think Brown got there at the same time Haley did. I saw Haley's right hand go in. The defensive line again for San Francisco asserts itself. They are dominating right now. There's Haley at the bottom working against Riesenberg. There comes Brown from the inside. They get there at the same time. The ball comes loose. The pocket collapses all the way around Phil Simms.
Again, it was the numbers game. The Giants having 5 men in this pattern. And you can see Cox coming up, taking up a blocker that perhaps would have moved to the outside, and they just did not number up right.
And believe it or not, 43 Waymer is the guy who came out of that pile with the football at the end. Carter turns it up for 6. Stopped by Pepper Johnson at the 47-yard line.
I don't want to make more out of it than what it really was, because it's an intangible. It's impossible to say. But how many times have you seen a hit by Ronnie Lott ignite the San Francisco 49er team? I mean the entire team. Ronnie Lott puts the kiss on Mark Bavaro, and look what happens. Look at the way everybody seems to shift gears, pick it up a level or two, and they get the turnover.
We've seen it a lot.
We've seen it too much to just be a coincidence.
Over 10 years.
Yeah. Al touched on it earlier. He's on his way to Canton, Ohio. No question about that.
2nd and 5. And it's a low pass and caught by Taylor at the 50. Gain of 4, 3rd and 1. Mark Collins, who's been spending most of his night covering Rice, covers Taylor on this one.
He occasionally is getting help deep in the hole and also in double coverage, but most of the time Mark Collins is on an island out there with either Taylor or Rice. Well, quite a tribute to Mark Collins that the Giants' defensive scheme of things will allow him to do that.
Frank, you mentioned Jerry Rice, and I just hear tick, tick.
Absolutely, it'll happen.
Tick.
3rd and 1 at the 50. 2:17 to go, 3rd quarter. Sidney and Rathman are the running backs. They need a yard, and Sidney gets that yard, and 9 more to the 40 behind a Rathman block, 1st down.
And that shows a lot of confidence. That's a risky call on 3rd and real short yardage. Ordinarily, you would expect them to take it up the middle, even a quarterback sneak, as Montana so often does. The one play where you can get hurt and take the loss is the sweep.
The other guy who kicked in on that play was Guy McIntyre, who got all the way around the corner from his left guard spot. The 49er guards run very, very well. McIntyre, who's been doing it for a long time. Barton, the converted tackle, who's just getting into it.
1.5 minutes to go, 3rd quarter, 7-3 49ers. 1st down, Carter to the 35-yard line. Pepper Johnson makes the tackle. So Carter playing in place of the slightly hurt Roger Craig, who could come back into the game at any time. Picks up 5.
Talked to coach of the 49ers, George Seifert, last night. We asked him about the running game or the lack of it. He said, well, look, the last couple of years our running game did not come around until late in the season. We're not terribly concerned about it.
That average below the league average, but above their season average, 3.6 per carry. Carter on 2nd down, hit by Taylor, picks up 1, takes it to the 34. It will be 3rd down and a long 3 coming up on what might be the final play of the period.
Good play by LT, who fights off a block. He's coming up to the outside, fights off the block of Jamie Williams, knifes back to the inside, and boy, Carter saw that one coming. And it's a play that Lawrence Taylor had to make. If Lawrence doesn't make that play, that might have been a 7-yard gain at the very least, and maybe more. Big hole in the middle.
Still 15 seconds remaining, but the Niners don't have to run a play and elect not to. They'll let the quarter expire. It's a scoreless 3rd quarter in San Francisco. 4th period upcoming, 7-3 Niners. Back we come after this word from our ABC station.
45 pretty even minutes. And the score reflects it, 7-3, pretty conservative basically. What's going to happen in the next 15 minutes?
Dan touched on something. Jerry Rice, tick, 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 tick. You wonder. We'll see.
Well, right now, the way the Giants have been moving the ball, if the 49ers score again, I mean, I haven't seen enough life from New York offensively to play a lot of good comeback football here in the fourth quarter.
And that was a 3rd and 4 play, and Roger Craig dropped it. Roger Craig back in the game after being shaken up earlier in the half. And there are the numbers through the first 45 minutes of play.
Really subpar total yard numbers for both teams. This has not been a pretty picture for either club offensively, although I think the biggest reason for the Giants not moving the ball is the fact that they are being dominated up front by the 49ers.
49ers will punt if they had chosen a field goal attempt. It's 52 yards, and you don't do that in this kind of a game. Leading by 4. They put it in Helton's hands. He'll angle it for the far side. It's his 7th punt of the night, but he punts it into the end zone and through, and that will come the Giants to the 20. And Helton, who has the worst average in the league, trots to the sidelines, and the crowd lets them know it.
We are not watching a punting clinic tonight.
Giants have it at their own 20, 1st and 10.
I talked earlier about the 49ers doing some last-minute substitution. This is when they've done it to the Giants before, when they broke their huddle. Our director, Craig Janoff, is giving us a look from the sidelines. Looks like they're going to go ahead and go with the personnel they put out there.
I think that's something you do once, and then you file it.
Including Kugler, Burt, and Fagan. First down from the 20. Sims keeping it. And Phil picks up the first down with a nimble little move out to the 31-yard line, a gain of 11. First down, New York at the 31. Giants, by the way, have not scored a touchdown in the second half in each of their last 2 games. Blanked against Detroit 2 weeks ago, even though they won the game 20-0, and held scoreless last week in the second half at Philadelphia. And they have not scored in the second half tonight. First down, 31-yard line. Sims over the middle. Bavaro, he takes another pop but holds on at the 44-yard line. Romanowski and his good buddy Ronnie Lott were right there.
Not say that Bavaro would be back across the middle. Total concentration. A quiet one and a very tough one. Here he is, watch 89, top of your screen. Never takes his eyes off the football until he puts it in, knowing full well he's going to get crunched. One, a tough football player, Mark Bavaro.
14-yard gain, back-to-back first downs for the Giants at the 45-yard line. The toss is to Anderson. Nothing shaking on the right side. Haley comes in to stop it after a gain of 1, 2nd and 9.
Haley will play from the up position or the down position. We've seen him play superb football tonight from both positions. He is the best pass rushing 49er, and he's not bad against the run.
Well, the key in that situation is you don't give ground. It's so easy that when you play off a block that you just give a little ground. That's how you get off the block. If you'll notice, Charles Haley played that block moving upfield. He was gaining ground.
On 2nd and 9. Sims buys some time, throws. Bavaro makes the catch. They swing him out of bounds at the 49 of San Francisco. Romanowski gets credit for the tackle, and that's going to set up a key 3rd and 3 with 12:44 to go, fourth quarter.
And you just keep going to a Mark Bavaro if you're going to try and cover him with the linebacker. He is not the 100% Mark Bavaro that he was before the knee injury a year ago, but he is still good at getting free from the line of scrimmage, very strong. He'll fight through a linebacker and get himself open if you try to cover him with a linebacker.
3rd and 3, Baker and Ingram both flank to the left off the quick count. It's a conservative 3rd and 3 call, and there's no room at all over the left side. And the Giants are stopped. Pierce Holt making the tackle on Otis Anderson, and here comes Landetta. to the chagrin of Parcells.
Giants tried to rush that play to take advantage of the 49ers not getting set in their defense, and I think it hurt them more than it did the 49ers. It obviously did.
Well, watch how poorly the Giants get off on the ball. That's one of the risks of a quick count. You're trying to outthink the defense, but sometimes you put your own guys behind the 8 ball a bit.
Landeta, like Helton, punting for the 7th time. Taylor thinks about calling the fair catch, doesn't, and the Giants get a most fortuitous bounce.
Sean just got off Bill Parcells' hook.
Well, no, but you want to know the truth? That's the right play by John Taylor. You don't field the ball inside your own 10-yard line. I mean, that is just a very fortunate bounce for the New York Giants. John Taylor did exactly the right thing by not fielding the ball. Just the ball didn't do exactly the right thing as far as John Taylor was concerned.
Tonight, on behalf of NFL Charities, 49ers owner Ed DeBartolo Jr. and Giants president of Wellington Mara announced an NFL Charities grant to the United Negro College Fund, making that commitment well over $500,000.
49ers on first down from the 2, and it's the tight end Brent Jones who gets them out of the shadow of the goalpost out to the 20-yard line on a play in which Carl Banks is in the game for the Giants. So Banks, after that broken wrist, has come back, and it's Jones taking the pass over the middle. So there is Banks with a nice clean 58.
And the very big cast still on his left wrist. He had pins inserted in that, and the pins were removed a couple of weeks ago, and Carl Banks now back.
17-yard gain. Big completion to Jones from the 19-yard line. Here's Dexter Carter. He slips down back at the 15 on the soft divoted turf. Banks and Washington.
Well, if he didn't slip, it was going to be Banks in on that tackle.
Well, that's got to feel good to Carl Banks. Got a good shot, got upfield, got in on a tackle, and all of a sudden, all the doubts, all the cobwebs, they all start to get pushed aside. And all of a sudden, after being hurt, you're on the outside looking in, and now all of a sudden you're one of the boys again. You're right back in it. Let me have a dirty jersey, just like everybody else.
2nd and 13 at the 16-yard line. Harry Sidney is in the backfield behind Montana. He goes into the pattern. Pass is caught by Jones, and the tight end is taken out of bounds up at the 23-yard line. And the next play will be a 3rd and 6 with 10:06 left.
You know, a lot is said about Mark Bavaro and his abilities as a tight end, but the most dominant tight end in this football game is Brent Jones. Brent Jones came into this game with 42 receptions, and he has very quietly developed into one of the fine tight ends in the game of football. A good blocker, a very agile receiver, and a guy with gifted hands.
And you can do that on a team with a Rice and a Taylor who draw the double coverage. You usually will be covered by a linebacker.
Jones has caught 3 balls tonight for 31 yards. 49ers have to get to the 29 to keep the drive going, and open and dropping it is Jones. Sure enough, extol his virtues. He drops one.
Oh, and a critical one it was for the Niners on the 3rd and long. He had the first down yardage, and George Seifert
it's also a pass that was thrown back behind him a little bit.
Oh, one you catch.
Oh, one you have to catch. Oh, clearly one you have to catch, but if you look at it, ooh.
Ooh, I can't catch it too, Brent.
Okay, Brent, that's it for you, baby.
Well, here's the star of the show along with Landeta. It's Barry Helton. This is the 15th punt of the game.
Oh, goody.
Helton makes back to
great television.
Fair catch. Dave makes it at the 35-yard line, and the Giants will begin their drive from the 35. 42-yard boot, 9:31 remaining in regulation.
The Raiders are driving for a division crown, but to stay in gear, they'll have to stop Detroit's wheels. Next week on ABC's Monday Night Football.
You know, you go back to opening day of '88, it's amazing. The Giants are 1-7 against Philadelphia and San Francisco, 31-4 against the other teams.
You think they're for realignment of the division?
Yeah.
Get Buddy out of my hair.
First down from the 35. New York down by 4. Sims airing it out, and it's incomplete. Good coverage on the play, intended for Ingram, and it's Darryl Pollard right there with him. Second down.
Well, this is one where Sims needed an alternate receiver. Pollard in perfect position all the way, watching the ball come in. We're lucky this did not turn into a turnover.
That's the type of coverage by Pollard that really the only way that would have ended up being a completion is if it would have been an underthrown pass and Ingram could have reacted back to it. Just beautiful coverage by Darryl Pollard.
Second and 10 from the 35-yard line. Here's Rodney Hampton, who gets taken down by a quartet of 49ers led by Pete Kugler after a gain of 1 on an odd call. 3rd and 9. Crowd tonight, by the way, 66,092. It's a 49er record. It's the most bodies to ever perch in Candlestick Park, period. Baseball, football, you name it.
Did they say this game was covered by more of the media than any other event? Has taken place here?
Mini Super Bowl. 3rd and 9. New York at the 36. 8:45 remaining in regulation. Sims, a big 3rd down completion to the 49-yard line to Lionel Manuel, tackled by Ronnie Lott.
And look at Ronnie Lott. Look at Darryl Pollard. I don't know if Pollard was the guy who missed coverage, but Ronnie Lott got up and just glared at Pollard.
A little crossing pattern. You'll see it at the top. Ingram going through and Manuel coming underneath.
Really a well-run pattern by the Giants. Pollard with that break to the underside really is in no position to get back on top of the receiver.
It was not a pick or anything. He should have been closer.
First and 10, 49-yard line. Sims gets taken down at the 42, picked up, though, by Anderson, and he turns what would have been a disastrous play into a huge break.
We're going to have to put a couple of these into the playbook. They've been the big plays for the Giants tonight.
Kevin Fagan had Sims, extracted it, and Anderson is there to exploit it. First down, Giants at the 31.
That's twice tonight Anderson has made big plays on a Sims fumble after being hit.
Twice is right. You will not see the ball bounce as favorably very often as it is bouncing for the New York Giants tonight. Charles Haley sacks Sims. It comes out. That time it was Fagan. And both times number 24 is there to get their old bacon out of the fire.
And he picks up 4 yards here to the 27-yard line. Haley in on the tackle on a more conventional carry this time for Anderson. He sets up a 2nd and 6.
And Ronnie Lott looks like he's limping. I mean, this is just as good a break as a team can get. Anderson is up there picking up a blitz. He's not looking at anything, and here comes the ball to him on one hop.
And Lott is coming out of the game. He hobbles off. There is Ronnie on the sidelines. Johnny Jackson comes in to the secondary.
Keep in mind the Giants down by 4. FG won't get it done.
2nd and 6 at the 27-yard line. Sims over the middle. It's Cross who gets pushed back after reaching the 20. That's enough for a first down. Waymer makes the tackle. Clock ticks down to 6:25.
Boy, and how quickly things are beginning to look up for the New York Giants. I mean, just look what's happened in the last couple of plays. They get a big break with Otis Anderson picking up the fumble. Phil Sims here completes this to Howard Cross. Ronnie Lott has had to check out of the game with an injury. I mean, here are the Giants facing really as bad a situation as you could be looking at, trailing and losing the ball on their own end of the field, and all of a sudden they're down at the 49er 20.
Under 6 minutes left in regulation. Sims asks the umpire to take a look at the football.
You can see Bart Oates gesturing wildly, and there's something about the football. It must have.
Sometimes it gets damp and gets on a chalk mark, and it adheres to the ball, and you don't want that either for snapping or should be trying to pass the football. Either that or Bart wanted to get a breath.
Well, they gave him a new football.
And the Giants bring in their control man, Otis Anderson.
And the 49ers bring back Ronnie Lott. He's back in the game. Well, there is Lott ready for action again. We're still waiting for play to resume.
And Phil Simms has just changed the play that he called in the huddle at the line of scrimmage.
I think Hamer wants the clock reset is what the problem is here. Yeah. It's back to 5:49.
And the Giants now with the time restored to the 25-second clock will go back into the huddle.
Yep. After a stoppage of the game clock, the clock gets reset. There it is on the left at 25. If it was a regular play, as soon as the play ends, it always goes back to 45. But 25 anytime they stop the game clock.
Giants changed offensive sets.
First down of the 20. Simms dumps it off to Carthen, who is wide open, and Maurice Carthen goes to the 11-yard line, tackled by Millen. Second and short upcoming.
You wonder why he is so open? Well, Carthen has only caught 13 passes. That was his 13th. He is a leader, as Dan spoke of earlier, of this Giants team, a tremendous blocker, and the guy you want in there when it gets going tough, because nobody's going to quit on him. He'll put his helmet right in your face.
Second and a yard and a half at the 11. Anderson fights his way for what I think is a first down. Waymer makes the tackle, and it is first and goal, New York from inside the 10.
And at first and goal, you think back to the situation in the first half where the Giants struggled to get it in running, came up short. You would think that Bill Parcells on the right has got to be thinking, I've got to put this up in the air. This game is on the line, perhaps right here.
4:20 remaining in regulation. Again, the Giants haven't scored in the second half against Detroit, against Philadelphia, or here tonight. Simms is pressured and throws it away. Simms was under heavy heat from Michael Carter. Nobody picks Carter up. Simms says, who's supposed to block that guy? Second and goal.
Al, that's exactly what he was saying.
Well, Bart Oates tried. A great move to the outside by Michael Carter, former shot putter from SMU. Look at the move he puts on Bart Oates there.
Oh, did he ever.
Tremendous agility for a man who goes close to 300 pounds.
Silver medalist, was he?
Yeah, sure was.
Second and goal, New York at the 9. 4:08 remaining. Fourth quarter, 7-3, 49ers. Simms, too deep, intended for Ingram in the corner, covered by Don Griffin. Third and goal.
And covered well.
Well, we have seen some secondary play tonight, haven't we? I mean, on the part of both clubs. I mean, got Pollard and Griffin and Collins and Perry Williams. I mean, we have seen sensational work in the secondary.
We saw both corners of the 49ers on that one shot. Darryl Pollard covering underneath Baker, and Griffin with the coverage in the end zone.
Third and goal. Baker to the left, Ingram to the right. And Simms over the middle, knocked away. Ronnie Lott knocked it away. And a very big decision now for Parcells. Intended for Bavaro. Parcells is down by 4. If you kick a field goal, you still have 3:59, and you're then within a field goal of winning the game. Where do you go for it?
Well, the decision's been made. They are going to go for it. They bring in 3 wide receivers. The guy you would expect with the best moves down in this area is one Lionel Manuel, as we look once again at the play by Ronnie Lott.
Well, what you were looking at right there was a touchdown to Mark Bavaro if Ronnie Lott doesn't touch the football.
Fourth and goal from the gun. Simms fires, batted away. Darryl Pollard. What a night for the 49ers secondary.
And tried to get it to Manuel. Great play by Pollard. And we have, we'll say it again, we have seen some superb play by both secondaries. This game is still not over. The decision on the part of Parcells, part of that decision was, well, we'll leave him inside the 10, and we'll have to play defense now.
First and goal at the 9, went to out of bounds at the 9. 4 incompletion.
I think this decision is going to be talked about for a while because, I mean, you're down 7-3. There are 4 minutes left in this ball game, 3:55. A lot of people, and maybe rightly so, you make it 7-6.
Yep.
You give them the football, you got a darn good defense, and you're in the ball game.
On that drive, the Giants 56 yards in the first 8 plays, and then 4 straight incompletions.
Well, in 4th and goal at the 9 with 4 minutes left, you had a chance to make it a 1-point ball game. I think Bill Parcells is going to be second-guessed a great deal about his decision to go ahead and go for the touchdown. 4 minutes is a long, long time in this league.
Carter picks up 7. Absolutely. If you kick the field goal at 7-6, you have 4 minutes, you have 3 timeouts, and a 2-minute warning. You got a lot of time to get the ball back.
I think he could care less about being second-guessed on it. I think he might second-guess himself, but I know he factored in the thought that my defense has been playing well. If we can hold him to a punt, they've got a lousy punter, and that's, at least we've seen that tonight.
Frank,
and we'll get the ball back in midfield, and we'll try and get in and get the 7.
I think you kick the field goal and make it a 1-point game. I think it's a no-brainer.
I kick the field goal. Here's Carter, and this kid's having a pretty good night here. Remember Stelling Craig, who was slightly shaken up. Dexter Carter, the rookie, the #1 draft choice out of Florida State, who's kind of been slow in developing, had fumbleitis earlier this season, a return type of guy and a 3rd down specialist and all that, and he's carried 9 times for 28 yards. And he's picked up a 1st down here, a big one.
And this is what Bill Parcells did not want to see. The 49ers moving it for a 1st down.
Clock keeps rolling, 2:50. Remember, the Giants can stop the clock 3 times, plus the 2-minute warning.
And the Giants need a touchdown to take the lead if they get the ball back.
Here's Dexter Carter again out to the 21-yard line, and the Giants have to start thinking about those timeouts, and they do, and there's a little scuffle that breaks out. Taylor winds up with the ball, but play is long gone. Timeout, New York, 2:33. That much time left in regulation. 7-3, San Francisco. .233 left in regulation. San Francisco ahead by 4. The Giants have 2 timeouts left, plus a stoppage at the 2-minute warning. And the 49ers have a 2nd down and 8 at the 21-yard line. One order of business here. If you didn't hear it today, Ray Perkins got fired as the coach of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. For the rest of the season, assistant coach Richard Williamson takes over. That was after they won yesterday. There's Perkins, who Hugh Culverhouse said will be my coach for the rest of this season and beyond and beyond.
And, of course, the coach that Bill Parcells replaced to become head coach of the New York Giants when Perkins trotted off to Alabama.
2nd down, 8. 49ers at the 21. Inside handoff to Harry Sidney, who turns it back, picks up the 1st down, and the former school teacher, who was cut twice earlier in his career, was a big star in the USFL, was looking for a job, sent his resume to John McVay, has just made a huge play.
Well, he's been all over. He was cut by Seattle. He was cut by Cincinnati. He went up to play in the Canadian Football League, and the team folded up there, but he has really performed the last few weeks.
Well, he's not going to
just great effort.
He's not going to get cut by San Francisco anytime in the near future.
Knocks Carter down.
A tremendous effort that may just be a backbreaker for the New York Giants.
2-minute warning, 1st down, 49ers.
Program reminder, you've already seen our competition, Murphy Brown behind the scenes. Well, next Thursday on Primetime Live, we'll get a little action. You'll see us on Monday Night Football behind the scenes.
And then on Sunday on ABC's Wide World of Sports, Bud Light Ironman Triathlon World Championship Special Edition. Times reflected on the panel there, and World Cup Gymnastics. 2 minutes remaining. 7-3 San Francisco at the 32-yard line. Montana hands the ball to Dexter Carter. And Carter takes it out to the 35. Now the Giants are going to have to spend their timeouts, and there's the first. What it amounts to now is if the 49ers can pick up a first down, it will be over. The Niners will have the best record in the conference. The Bears and the Giants will both be 10-2. And we mentioned earlier, if the season ended tomorrow, the Giants would have a record that would put them into a first-round playoff game against the number 3 wild card. It would be Green Bay. The Bears would have the weekend off, January 5th and 6th, and so would the 49ers. That's how important this game is tonight.
And for the 49ers, probably helping to secure home field advantage. And we think back to the 49er playoff games against the Giants after the 1985 season when they lost 17-3 after 86. They lost 49-3 playing in the cold Meadowlands of January, so they will be delighted if it doesn't eventuate that they have got to go to the Meadowlands, and they look like they will not.
If you're wondering what the tiebreaker is between the Giants and the Bears, it's best conference record since they've not met head-to-head. And the Bears would have the better conference record. 2nd and 6. And Dexter Carter gets shoved back.
Rejected, I think, is a
yes.
good way of describing what happened to Dexter Carter. A rookie carrying the ball twice in a row now under what are very critical circumstances. You can't have a fumble or a loose football here, and the 49ers showing a lot of confidence in Dexter Carter.
You've been in those huddles, though, Dan. You know what everyone is saying. Hold on to the football.
Yeah, well, you know what? I've been in a lot of huddles where people said, hold on to the football, and then somebody dropped the football. I found out the words aren't much in the way of glue.
That at least gets your attention, doesn't it?
No, it sure does. A great job, as always, by Craig Janoff, our director, Kenny Wolf, our producer, and the best guys in the business, our camera and tape guys. Great look tonight, fellas. To blitz or not to blitz? That is the question Mr. Belichick and Mr. Parcells are talking about right now.
Well, one of the most disruptive things you can do, even against the run, is the blitz, and it is a good way to cause a turnover.
Now, if you're Joe Montana, do you put the ball in the air?
Have no more timeouts. 0.
Okay, the Giants took their last timeout. The scoreboard showed 1. Momentary confusion. They took their last timeout. They have none. 1:48 to go. 3rd down, 11. From the 31-yard line. And they're going to keep it on the ground. A flag goes down. I think Carter has the first down. He gets up, both guns blazing, and then he sees the flag.
But when the umpire throws that flag, you can pretty well guess what it's going to be. And I can't recall a holding penalty this whole game.
Holding, number 61 of the offense. Repeat 3rd down.
Jesse Sapolu, and that's as animated as you'll ever see George Seifert.
Well, I think he cannot recall a holding penalty in this entire game.
I can't recall the flag being thrown. Sapolu, the center, a most critical error at this juncture.
Instead of a first down, it's 3rd down, back at the 21. 3rd and 21.
And we have the 4 wide receivers for the 49ers, but you can bet that Joe Montana will be very conservative with what he does with the football.
And extremely conservative. Here's another flag. It's a big run for Sidney. It's not enough for a first down, but a marker is down. If nothing else, these 2 plays have taken 13 seconds off the clock. We have 1:35. Again, a hold. Well, Taylor says back him up.
Well, sometimes after you get one holding penalty, you think perhaps you can get away with the one on the next play.
3rd down.
Well, this time they get Guy McIntyre, the left guard. San Francisco doing their best to make it exciting here at the end.
3rd down and 31.
3rd and 11 becomes 3rd and 21, which becomes 3rd and 31.
1:35 left. Again, the Giants nary a timeout. And Sidney again. And why not? Because at least the Niners can now take it right down to the nub before they punt it at the 10-yard line. The Giants just have to sit there and futilely watch that clock tick down to around the 40-second mark.
Well, there's still over 30 seconds left on the play clock, and that's how much time the 49ers have to squander here.
And meanwhile, Barry Helton, who is not one of the best kickers around, will be kicking from close to the goal line or the end zone, and a dangerous return man, Dave Meggett, who will probably take a pretty good chance at midfield for the Giants for the return.
This will be the 16th punt of the game. If you're wondering, is it a record? Not even close. In a thriller between the Bears and Packers in 1933, they had 31 punts. Meggett at his own 48. Takes it to the 44. That stops the clock. 36 seconds and no timeouts for New York.
Well, the yellow flag gives the New York Giants one last shot at it.
So the 49ers secondary so responsive tonight. Remember, the Niners came into the game #1 against the run, #19 against the pass. But you'd never know it after tonight.
And number 42 drops deep. Somebody's going to have to get past Ronnie Lott to get to the end zone.
Out of the gun, 49ers rush 3. Over the middle, this is Meggett. He's taken down at the 37. No timeouts. Clock still running.
Great hustle there by Pierce Holt. He caught Meggett from behind, a defensive tackle, defensive end.
2nd and 3. Again, a 3-man rush. It's Meggett again over the middle. And Meggett takes it down to the 26-yard line. But here are the Giants with maybe one play remaining. He's got to throw it into the ground here, and he does, to give them that one play they can set up for.
And he'll have to take it into the end zone.
I tell you, those are two kind of curious calls. Without a timeout, you're throwing the ball over the middle, needing a touchdown.
Well, they're counting on his ability, like a scat back, to punt return, to break a tackle perhaps, and he's done a lot of that for them this year and get the big yardage.
You can't argue with their wanting to get the ball into the hands of their most explosive offensive player in Meggett, but in doing it twice in a row in the middle of the field, look what you have done to the clock.
Exactly.
Of course, I think it also points out something about the Giants, their lack of confidence in their wide receivers.
Last play of the game, barring a defensive penalty.
Well, this will draw a crowd.
And it ends on a sack by Fagan.
And the 49er defense, nothing short of excellent. They dominated this football game. They won this football game on a team where the offense gets all the glory and all the stories. Ronnie Lott and his boys won this football game.
Lott and his boys, and Bill McPherson, the unheralded defensive coordinator, and they win it as well for the defensive secondary coach, Ray Rhodes, who had his appendix removed, isn't here watching this one from the hospital.
You touched on Bill McPherson, but you better believe that George Seifert, the former defensive coordinator under Bill Walsh, has a major input to, once again, a super 49er defense.
And we gave you a look there at the end of Phil Simms and Ronnie Lott, what looked like exchanging words. And I don't mean congratulatory words.
And they had done that earlier, you'll recall, and they're probably saying, we'll see you guys in January. And they may. But the Chicago Bears are going to have a few things to say about that as well.
I'm sure the Chicago Bears, after watching this game, are sitting at home saying, and these are the two best teams in football?
And the Giants take the red-eye home, have a short week, and get to face as hot a team as there is in the league right now, the Minnesota Vikings. And there are Lott and Simms.
And they're not kissing and making up either.
Well, maybe just a start.
Yep.
Oh, not even close.
Scoreless second half. 7-3 is the final. 49ers win it. They're 11-1. Giants 10-2. Next week from Detroit, Raiders, Lions. Al Michaels, Frank Gifford, Dan Beardo. Good night from San Francisco.